Hello, 365 Brothers fans. So good to be back in touch with you all. I am wishing each of you an early and a happy Thanksgiving. I will share with you our return and what's coming up. Spoiler alert, mid-January. But I'll share the details for after a couple excerpts from two interviews that they came back to me as I'm getting ready for Thanksgiving, and I've been thinking about them, and I'm like, I gotta just share these two with you. The first one is Dr. Hall. You know what it means when people bring stuff for Thanksgiving, but it ain't their best. He has a really hilarious story about that. And then also, when I asked Jensen Atwood, what is love to you? His response seems so appropriate to share with you as we go into the holiday season and as we all prepare, or if you're listening to this after Thanksgiving, as you finish up those Thanksgiving sandwiches and the leftovers and all of that. And at the end of these two excerpts, I'll share what's next for 365 Brothers when we return in mid-January. Okay, enjoy. Is there any one particular Christmas that was that stands out when you were young?
You know what? Not really, to be honest with you. Yeah, not really. I mean, I think after my mother died, I mean, it was kind of like, how are we gonna do Christmas? How are we gonna do Thanksgiving? It was like, that was I was 21. So I was quote unquote grown, but I really wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yes,
and so I was just trying to figure out, like, how does Thanksgiving happen without my mother? How does Christmas happen without the person who was behind all this stuff? And, but we did it, you know what I'm saying? And so it was kind of like we're thinking about her and what she would want, you know what I mean? So my father didn't really want to do it, but he but we was like, she would want us to do that, you know what I mean? And so we pulled it together, kind of as best we could. So you probably were thinking about a happy one, but I think that's one. And I don't remember the particulars of it, to be honest with you, but I just remember we got through it. It wasn't particularly happy. The food wasn't particularly good, you know what I mean? But we, sort of got through it, and then we kind of rebuilt, and now Thanksgivings are the food is good now, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I understand when in our family, everyone kind of has a specialty, and when, somebody, passes on or moves out of town and that was their thing. Mm-hmm. So I got to figure out how to make that. And we give you two, three seasons.
I know. What's funny?
Right.
I was telling people that, the way we do it now, we assign it. We don't want somebody, I'm going to bring the stuffing.
Oh,
no, yeah. We don't want your stuffing. No, you can't bring the stuffing. You go buy a pie or something. So-and-so is going to do the stuffing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't just bring whatever. We know who does the best of everything, like you said, right? Right. And then let them do it. We can't have no two-stepping with the stuffing or the macaroni and cheese. There was always this one aunt who made terrible macaroni and cheese and always volunteering. I want to make the macaroni. It's terrible. There'd be two of them, like there'd be like two dishes, and the one would be decimated, and then hers would be sitting there all full.
Don't go there. You bring it back. You bring it back. Memories, man. Certain here. Let me tell you something. So I am the mac and cheese in our family.
Uh-huh.
However, something happened with my oven one year. I didn't know that it wasn't heating, like the thermostat was off. I didn't know. I showed up with some mac and cheese. It didn't work. Oh, honey, it took 4 years. It took 4 years.
I was on
probation. I was on probation. They were threatening to get somebody else to do the mac and cheese.
Oh my God, I know. That's what we've done. The thing we like. This girl brought some baked beans and put nutmeg in them, and she had these nutmeg baked beans, great big platter of them, and it destroyed those baked beans. This was like at a picnic or something, where people were bringing stuff. It's like, we don't have any baked beans. And her baked beans is it take the baked. Everybody looking at him like, like, but she thought everyone loves my baked beans in my family. The Hall family did not like them baked beans. And we still talk about it. Now, make sure she don't bring them nutmeg baked beans.
Oh man. I don't know if there's anybody watching who don't know who, you know what I'm saying? Like if you got a Black family, you know. Don't show up with nothing don't nobody like.
No, and then they're gonna talk about you forever.
Forever. Probation. I had been doing the mac and cheese. I had done it probably 5 or 6 years already. Probation for 4 years.
I don't think we've ever let that lady bring anything again.
You
know what I
can't
mean?
even
To be
bring the
honest,
pie.
she can't bring nothing. No, that was an experiment. It did not work out. She was sentenced. There was no probation for her. We don't want to try any more of your best dishes.
Wow, that is hilarious. That's hilarious. And I get why your family reunions are fun. Just in how you describe all that, I can tell it's nothing but laughter all around, all day.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
I certainly hope you enjoyed hearing that funny from Dr. Hall. So many of us can relate. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. You know. Hey, I have a huge request. I'd say it's a favor, but it's more than a favor. It's a huge request. If you found that funny, if you enjoyed listening to that little excerpt, please leave a review on whatever platform you are listening on. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to leave like some long multi-sentence something. It doesn't need to be fancy, okay? Your reviews help us in terms of having people find us. It helps us in terms of our rankings. And so if you found it funny and you want people to discover these stories, please do leave a review. Up next is actor Jensen Atwood on love and food.
What is love to you, Jensen?
Oh, what is love to me? Love is dedication. Love is food. Food is a big part of love for me. Yeah, those are the two things that stick out to me the most.
Got it. So where did this start with the food?
Probably from the greatest woman I've ever known in my life, which is be my granny.
Mm-hmm.
She was beyond a cook. She was a magician. She made literal magic in the kitchen.
You're making my mouth water. What do you tell me some more? What you mean?
I mean, unfortunately, she's not with us anymore, but I remember sitting in the nook in my granny's kitchen and talking with her, letting her know how amazing that she actually was. And that when she was gone, that this magic, that the magic would be gone too. My mom and my aunts, they know some of her recipes, but there's something about love that can't be put in a recipe. Mm. And she went in that kitchen almost every day and created love from magic. The best food that I've ever eaten, and one of the greatest women that have ever graced this planet. And I wouldn't be the man I am today, and I wouldn't be in the space of my career that I am without her. So.
Wow. What did you learn from her? I mean, it's you're not saying what it was, but it's clear like she demonstrated something. I mean, first of all, let me just acknowledge that I heard you say magic, and I heard that what I really hear when you say magic is she cooked with love, and it was evident in how it, and it's funny, and I'm running my mouth and you're the one who said it, but I have to tell you, right, it's I have a dish that I love to cook for my man, and I love cutting the tomatoes. I love browning the onions. And there's it's like the brown, not yellow, not dark brown, but there, you know what I mean? Like you learn what makes it, all the little things that make it come out just the way the people you love like it. And is that what you're pointing to?
It's care. It's concern. It's time. It's dedication. And all of those things are included in the amazing dishes that she made. It wasn't just thrown together. It was thoughtful. And she knows me. She knows my relatives. She knows what each of us like and what we don't like. She knows the right seasoning even. And she'll make adjustments according. She'll make dishes according. It was love. It was what love is supposed to be. Time and concern and dedication and compassion and time. More than anything, time. People could give you all the presents in the world, but it will never replace presence of a human being. And she will never, unfortunately, be replaced in my life. Oh, sorry.
No, I love that you got to have such a woman in your life. I love that you were able to recognize her for who she was. Know that you were a gift to her, because I hear you made it clear to her that you recognized her gifts, her love, her generosity, her time, her devotion, her dedication, her attention.
She treated, and the
go
way
ahead.
It's the way she treated me. It wasn't just words. It was actions. But everything that you just said was everything that my granny showed me. It wasn't just what she told me.
Yeah. And I can hear that it's sad when you have something like that, so precious, and it's no longer with us. But I think I can tell that, well, I hope that you're able to hold it in your heart as a treasure, because it's not the norm. I mean, I love my grandmother. She passed away. That wasn't my grandmother. Not every grandmother can cook that way. And what I really hear now that I'm running my mouth about it is that, there's that book, The 5 Love Languages. There are different ways that people show their love, and that one, and I can tell that this is just one way that she did it, but that one way that she was exceptional in demonstrating love was through the foods that she cooked and served.
Exceptional would be to put it lightly.
That says a lot right there.
And I don't know if you know, but I'm Creole. So when I'm talking gumbo, I'm talking about shrimp etouffee, I'm talking about jambalaya.
Stop making me mad. Stop making me mad.
Man.
I certainly hope you enjoyed both of those. Both of them are I just love that. And even as I just put those two little clips together, it so reminded me of how much I enjoy having conversations with brothers. It's just fun for me. I hope you can hear that in the episodes. But I also think it's important to continue to share them. The title is 365 Brothers for the podcast, and that's because, we're 130 something in, but we're going to do 365 brothers. Okay. And we'll be back in January. For those who want to hear the why, I just want you to know I am not a fan of rationalizing, of reasons, of justifications or excuses. I'm just not a fan. But I'm just going to tell you the facts. So the facts are that each of the 3 content subjects I teach at school, we got new textbooks, and they're not just like the newest edition of our old textbooks. They're really different. And long story short is there's new lessons to be planned. And so I'm still going to be adjusting to that even as I resume a regular schedule, but it's much more time consuming. Not to mention, when I started the podcast, we were on lockdown, y'all. And so, you know, there was no school. I wasn't commuting anywhere. There were no students in front of me. It was all on Zoom. Anyway, let's just say life has returned to normal. And I'm returned to my half marathons, returning to doing some art and just, you know, life. And so squeezing it in takes more than it used to. The other thing is it's, you know, getting guests. It's more, they've got more demands on their time. And so that's been going a little differently than it did back in 2020 when everybody was sitting around with nothing to do. And there weren't but, you know, maybe 2 million podcasts instead of 10 million. So that's one. And the other thing is our school changed our start time. So in California, all high schools have to start by law after 8:30. And so we moved ours back, you know, just an hour. But that hour changes so much that I did not anticipate. So again, I'm not a fan of excuses, justification, but them's the facts. So it was an adjustment, but I think I can handle it now. So we're going to come right back in January with a fairly regular schedule. I am not promising y'all every Monday. I'm not. But that's what we're shooting for. And we will have a minimum of a couple episodes a month minimum. Also, I am going to shift in 2023 to just episodes. So you're not going to hear me saying season 5, season 6, season 7. We're just going to go switch to what some other podcasts are doing, which they just number the episodes. So when you see some real high number, that's because in terms of episodes, I don't know, we're at 140 something, 150. And so you'll start seeing just episode and the number. So that'll be a change in 2023. And that's about it. I think that's enough details and updates. And I just want to say, as I always do, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And one more, thank you, seriously, for listening, for being interested, not only in brothers and what they have to say, but also just for supporting this podcast. Thank you for listening to 365 Brothers. I certainly hope you enjoyed the episode. I encourage you to subscribe. Please leave a review. I want to know what you think. Also, if you know someone who would be a fantastic guest for 365 Brothers, please direct them to our website, 365brothers.com. You'll also find all the episodes there, 365brothers.com. And your support is welcome. And remember, to listen is to love.